Welcome to the RC Retro channel. For this episode, I'm going to focus on decals or stickers or whatever you want to call them. And so if you're just getting back into the hobby and are looking for how you can restore your cherished childhood vintage RC, then this info is perfect for you. And if you're already into restoring vintage RCs, then you'll find this video interesting as I'll be comparing original, re-release, and reproduction decals so that you can see the difference in quality. Of course, there's nothing like originals, so if you're lucky enough to come across some, you'll probably get bummed out right away when you see the price associated with them. But let's say they re-released your buggy. Well, then you have re-release decals. The problem with re-release decals is due to licensing issues. Tamiya re-releases don't have the actual real-life sponsors on them. Instead, Tamiya will make them look like the sponsors, but put different made-up names in their place. So that is where reproduction decals come in. Now here is my disclaimer. I am in no way knocking reproduction stickers or decals. As a matter of fact, I can't express enough how thankful I am that someone has taken the initiative to make these and allow the thousands of us in this hobby to bring our childhood RCs back to life. With that being said, again, there is nothing like the real thing, and the purpose of this video is just to compare them. So back to the reproduction decals. If you want that vintage look with the original sponsors, then reproductions are probably your best bet. So here are a set of decals that I obtained for my BigWig restoration. These are originals, and to the right of them are re-release. The quality is the same between them, however the big difference is the sponsorship names. One obvious one that sticks out is the Dick Seebeck on the original and the Mooncraft on the re-release. So for the next segment of my video, I'm going to focus on comparing Astute reproduction decals to that of original decals. Here is another side-by-side comparison of reproduction decals on the left to original Astute decals on the right. One obvious is that with the reproduction decals on this, it's a solid black, and it's very hard to reproduce the translucent look of the tinted windows on the originals. The reproduction is a little bit more blue, while the original has a little bit more, I want to say a little bit more purple in here. It's just a different hue from this blue to this blue. I'm not sure if you can see it. Also, what I also like, and obviously what everyone likes about using the originals, is that, you know, right here, this is all one. Whereas on the reproduction, you have to, you know, cut out this piece right here, as well as this decal and this decal, and put them on here. Also, when it comes to the originals versus reproduction, you definitely get a lot crisper and sharp lines in the decals, and I'll show you that in a second. And that's just due to the printing process, because, you know, when Tamiya was producing these with their original kits or even with their re-releases, I mean, they're using screen printing, and you know, it's only cost effective to screen print like that when you have large amounts. For someone who is doing reproduction decals or stickers, you know, you're printing off one at a time. So obviously, cost-wise, it's laser printers, which do a great job, and I'm thankful that we have reproduction decals. But if you can get your hands on originals, I mean, there's nothing like an original. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Look at the word free flow, and you'll notice the very top of it has some white lines, and this is the reproduction. So this is the decal that will go on the hood of the Astute. On your right hand side is a reproduction, and you'll notice at the top of the 5 and also the bottom of the blue, those jagged edges, it is not a sharp line. Alright, so a couple things to take note here. First, the word Z point. On top is the reproduction. You'll see the white line going across the top. Also on the Reproduction, the blue line has those jagged edges, and if you look up even further, the bottom of the window has those jagged lines as well. The bottom is the original, and it is clean and crisp lines. This is the awesome decal that goes across the wing of the Astute. On top is the Reproduction, the bottom is the original. If you look at the Reproduction, right at the top of the yellow, you'll see a faint white line going across. Now, something else to keep in mind, if you are ordering reproductions and the seller gives you the opportunity of adding a high gloss to it, I would say go for it. It does make a big difference. The Astute decals, the Reproduction ones you see on the left, do not have it, and it's really hard to pick up on camera, but I could tell you, sure enough, in person, under the light, you can see the difference. It wasn't until I ordered decals for my Vanquish restoration project that I noticed it. And I didn't order them by accident. I just decided, hey, let me pay the few extra dollars and go with a gloss. And it does make a world of difference. I mean, again, there's nothing like an original, but with the gloss, it just takes it to the next level. Here are those Reproduction Vanquish decals on top with a gloss finish. The ones on the bottom are the original. I found the ones on the bottom for like $25 on eBay. I couldn't believe this person was selling these decals for only 25 bucks. So I just had to jump on that and purchase them. And these are decals that I'm just gonna hold on to until one day I could find an original shell. But I do have a Reproduction shell from TBG that I am gonna use, and I am gonna use Reproduction decals with a gloss finish as well. And I'm gonna try to show you the gloss on them in a second under the light, and hopefully, you'll be able to see that. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and remember, the whole purpose was just to compare original, re-release, and reproduction decals. And I'm in no way knocking reproduction decals. As a matter of fact, the gentleman who I do business with and his company are fantastic. I've never had any issues with them. They actually helped me create custom decals for one of my projects. I've heard a lot of horror stories about people purchasing other decals from other sellers off of eBay. So if you want to know who the seller is and the company I use, please leave a comment below. I'm sure you probably already do know who that is, but leave a comment anyway, and if you like what you saw, please subscribe.